Hi, my name is Eric. I'm a health science major here at IU Indy, and I'm from Columbus, Indiana. A fun fact about me is that I like to play pickleball. I am not any good, but I still do enjoy the sport. And today I will be running you through the IU Scholarship Portal. So, first off, to apply for any of our scholarships here at IU Indy, you are going to have to be an admitted student, and you also need to set up your one.iu.edu account. Once you have all that stuff set up, then you need to go into any web browser and type in one.iu.edu. Once you're there and once you have signed in, you are going to need to type into the search bar scholarships. Once you see the IU Scholarships logo, you can select it, and this will prompt you to log in with your CAS credentials. Once you've signed in, this will pop up with the page the first section of the general application. The first part of the general application is going to be a slight introduction, basically confirming what year you're applying for, and just making sure that you know that if you don't want to submit it right now, you can always press save, and you can always return to it and continue it later. So, the first section of the application is going to be asking questions about the FAFSA, which campus you're going to be on, your expected graduation date, and your intended enrollment. With intended enrollment, if you want to be considered a full-time student, this is going to need to be 12 credit hours or more per semester, or 8 credit hours if you are thinking about your graduate program. To be considered a half-time student, you are going to need to do 6 credit hours or more when it comes to your undergraduate and 4 for your graduate. So I will say the next couple sections of the general application are going to be fairly repetitive in how you answer, but this is also going to be there to help see what scholarships are eligible to you based on your past experience, and to kind of help you start thinking about what things you would want to apply for. This first section is going to be about volunteer and community service. If you worked at a food bank in high school, or you volunteered at an animal shelter or anything like that, this would be a great section to add that stuff in. You're going to need to select the type of community service or volunteer service that you've done, the years that you were involved, and then if you have more than one, you can always add another. This next part is going to be about leadership. If you were a coach in high school, or if you had a job where you were a manager, or if you were the president of the student society or anything like that, this is going to be a great place to put that stuff in. So this next part is going to be about extracurricular activities and your experience with that. So if you played a sport in high school, or if you were a part of band or theater, this would be a great spot for that. This next section is going to be about affiliations. If you were a part of a club or a organization in high school or any other campus, you can actually add that stuff in here. And this does include if you were a spouse or a dependent of a person who was a part of an organization. The next part is going to be about honors and rewards. If you received any grants or rewards from high school, or you were in a competition and you won, this would be a great place to put that stuff in. This last section that's going to be fairly repetitive is going to be about your work experience. If you had a job in high school, or if you had a job on a different campus, or if you were a tutor or anything like that, this would be a great place to put that in. One key fact that you should add into this as well is if you are planning to work during school. The next part of the general application is going to be the scholarship essay. A couple things to include and to keep in mind is that it should be no more than 1,000 words, and it should also include your high school or college involvement, your field of study, and your career goals. And then you should detail any hardships or circumstances that receiving a scholarship will help you out. So the last part is going to be some supplemental questions, basically asking if your parents were alumni here, or your military status, if you want to study abroad, your gender identity, etc. So the last thing that you need to do is sign and submit. If you don't want to submit it at the moment, that's perfectly fine. You just need to press save, and then you can always continue it later. You have just finished the general application. What do you do from here? If you actually scroll back to the top of that page, you're going to see a little drop-down box that says opportunities. If you press that and select all, then it will bring you up to the scholarship page. There are over 35 different pages of different scholarships that you can actually apply for, and it kind of will be a little bit overwhelming whenever you're just combing through it. But to narrow down your search a little bit, you can always go to the search bar and type in a specific scholarship, or you can press the filter button, and this will help you narrow down your search. So, when it comes to my personal experience with scholarships, I do have a scholarship called the JAGS Excellence Award, which is a scholarship based on high school academics or my past experience. This is a great scholarship, but I will say that is kind of where that ends, and that's actually one of my biggest regrets from college, is that I didn't put in the effort to actually go out and find different scholarships that I was actually eligible for. So if you want a tip of advice, just go do the general application and then look for as many scholarships as you can, just because this is a great way to pay for college without having to pay it back later. And lastly, if you do have any questions about anything, feel free to contact us and we can always answer those questions for you. Thank you.